What up, family? Get a sport dash 20 Mary Lee. It is 7:14 a.m. Sexy Saturday, August 9th, 2025. We'll try to go all the way to 7:21. Okay. All right, y'all ready? Bud Billigan Parade, back to school, Chicago. Gonna be blowing a lot of smoke, so have your face mask. If you got cancer or some kind of health issue, that's probably why it's called the Bud Billigan Parade. Today is also allegedly my mother's Mary Lee Wright birthday and Whitney Houston birthday. And I'm gonna be as professional as I can. You know, Mary McMyers, I told you about. Don't give you nothing else. I'm gonna give you the truth, and obviously that's all I have left to give you. I realize now, while I was getting dressed, how it works. It costs a lot to go to hell, but salvation is free. Imagine that. You just learned something today. Long story short, the shirt say, "Readers make leaders." I got this at the Goodwill store. It had a children's store, like it came from the children's store. So, it took a lot for me to be able to fit this shirt. Just want you to know, when I first got to this trap building, 6210 South Kenbark Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60637, apartment 308, I was over 200 pounds. So, I love eating. So, I've been here since May 31st of 2017, over 8 years. So, this right here is a miracle right here you're looking at. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that I have cancer is, a miracle that I'm still alive. I know a lot of my haters wish I had died, family and friends included. But, hey, I'm a professional, and I want to make sure your dreams come true, too. I asked my mother, Mary Lee Wright, what was her favorite singer? And she said Regina Bell. Regina Bell. And Regina Bell has a song called If I Could. I did the rap remix. I put in the description of this video. And it was about a lot of street children. You understand what I'm saying? Just kind of out there doing their thing or whatever and stuff. And, I, being a street person, wanted to help my mother out with that song. And Regina Bell, if I could, I would have given you the world. And I try my best, but some people take your dream and make it theirs. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. I believe my mother missed her calling, or she, saw my, potentials, and she just never cared for me or whatever, for whatever reason. Even the Bible said mother against daughter, daughter against mother, and, I tried my best. I used to always holler for my mother. I want my mother, I want my mother. I got plenty of apartments. She never asked to stay with me or whatever and stuff, I rubbed her feet before she allegedly passed away, which I don't believe she did, in 2000. My brother tried to give her a cigarette. I, try to wave it off and stuff, but they like smoking and stuff like that. And I don't drink, drugs, smoke, or fornicate. You understand what I'm saying? I used to, but, it's no good for you. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. But misery loves company, and if she, my mother, would have just did like this, like she didn't want the cigarette, I would have fought my brother to the death at that nursing home, Barrymore Nursing Home in Chicago. Yeah, I would have. But God helped those who helped themselves. She didn't even do that. So, and she had a hole in her throat. But when I seen her, she didn't have a hole in her throat. So I figured my sister, Linda Nelson, and my brother, allegedly, Emmanuel Robert Davis, and my mother, Mary Lee Wright, were conspiring against me and stuff. For real, I like the shirt say, readers make good leaders. And, I used to sell general merchandise back in the day. Okay. And I had to know who was trying to rob me and who was trying to take advantage of me, and who wanted to buy something, and, because that's how I paid my bills. So I had to read people, so to speak. I had to be a good judge of character. My brother, they said he was smart, and he could pass a test without even studying, okay? But he couldn't find a job because he was a black man in America. So God chose his baby sister to, help him out. So I get to this trap building. He finally come over here. He see me, I guess, on Facebook, and he see his opportunity to come up. You understand what I'm saying? Offer me, as always. You understand what I'm saying? And the first thing he asked me, where was my ex-girlfriend, Lawana Joy Jacobson, whom I really did all this for, because I don't make a promise I can't keep, and I promised her that, she'll make it, and I wouldn't unalive her and stuff. She could trust me. But my brother, he come over here. I'm thinking he gonna be my knight in shining armor. First person he asked about, not my mother. You understand what I'm saying? My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. And I hadn't seen him since the funeral in 2000, which I believe was my funeral, because it had Mary Lee Davis on the tombstone and not Mary Lee Wright. People play games and stuff. So the Billiken Parade is on my mother's birthday, so I don't expect nothing but a lot of smoke. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. Because, some people just ain't gonna let you upstage them and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But that's the truth. But Mary McNamara, I love y'all. I tried. I ain't gonna lie. Oprah, she threw me under the bus because she wanted to be the first, and that's why God, took her queendom away and gave everybody social media because of me. You understand what I'm saying? So at least I give you a chance to go for your dreams, aspirations, and whatever else. You understand what I'm saying? All I wanted was $2 million tax-free, and the rest could go to you all, you, the viewer, including my so-called family. So I came up with a song, Never, Ever, 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 Ever Again. Depending on what happened today, it's how I'm gonna write it and stuff if I make it back or out this building, because I'm number one as far as public enemy number one. Everybody want to kill me for some reason. This the 8. I'm the originator of rap since the age of 8, 1975, and that ain't gonna change. So accept no imitations. And with that, I love you. Peace.